Hello friends, today we will talk film as a teaching aid. All of us are fascinated by cinema and how the moving images they fascinate us is there since the cinema made its emergence in the 19th century. So from 1895-96 onwards, when cinema made its appearance in terms of the moving images, and thereafter in the 20th century, when the first films they were being produced as feature films, in the context of India, Pundalik is referred to as the first film, and thereafter Raja Harishchandra in 1913. But we do not have much evidence in the framework that the reel of Pundalik is not available, and it is only available to us through the advertisement. So Raja Harishchandra is considered to be the first feature film of India. And these kind of films which were made during the colonial period and thereafter as well, they have fascinated the audience since cinema made its appearance. Times of India it claimed that it is the marvel of the century, and cinema and films they proved that definitely they were and they are the marvel of the century that way. And how over the years, when they made their humble beginnings and thereafter how the kind of developments which took place in the field of cinema, that initially we find that women were not ready to work in the films, and in the first film Raja Harishchandra, Salunke, a man who performed the role of a woman, Taramati, and when women they entered the films and the people those who were associated with the film industry, they were not considered to be people of some kind of a high repute. The way cinema was seen as some sort of a degradable kind of work, and leaders like Mahatma Gandhi considered them to be some sort of vice. But there were others, those who supported cinema, and how cinema was also used, cinema and films they were used as some sort of a propaganda in 1930s elections by the Congress. We also find that how cinema and the audio visual medium is entertainment, that is there, but apart from that it is also a mode of communication, information and education. So films and how film is being also taught in many of the universities now as a specific subject or a discipline, and various kind of institutions they have also been opened so that one can understand cinema. As James Monaco, he has written a book called How to Read a Film. So the way the books are read, similarly a film has to be read, and it has to be located in a particular kind of context on which the film is based. And at the same time, how film is also providing the kind of education, communication and information to the audience which is watching that particular kind of a film. So from that perspective, film they have a lot of utility, they have a lot of relevance, and they are quite important in today's age, where we find that audiovisual medium and the technology has reached such a stage that in our mobile phones we have so many applications where cinema and films they are also available apart from the OTT platforms. So in the context of references, one can refer to Feroz Rangoonwala's 75 Years of Indian Cinema, Eric Bernot, S. Krishnaswamy, Indian Film, Kishore Valicha's The Moving Image, Aruna Vasudev, Liberty and License in Indian Cinema, and James Monaco, How to Read a Film. So these are some of the references. There are so many others apart from them which one can refer when talking about cinema in diverse spheres. And when we are talking about film as a teaching aid, we will be specifically talking about the Hindi films largely and Indian cinema in general. And when one wants to see the kind of developments which have taken place in the Indian cinema, we find that how this kind of a visual medium which is available to the audience, and it is providing the kind of education which can be made available to the students, and how students they are also enlightened on the various socio-economic, political, cultural and academic issues. And some of the films like Gulal, Dil Dosti, etc., which are made on the campus politics or on the campus life, they also provide various kinds of insights about the lives of the students. Similarly, films which have been made on diverse sphere, which talk about the socio-economic, political kind of a reform within the society, they also communicate these kinds of aspects. You can see on the screen.
Read the sentence, Ishant.
ये तो नाच रहे हैं.
Silence. Speak in English.
The letters are dancing.
They are dancing, are they?
So we saw in this clip which was based on Tare Zameen Par, and in this particular clip the issue of dyslexia has been communicated, and this issue was unknown to so many Indians. They were not even aware that such kind of a thing which exists among children and maybe adults as well. And such kind of films, they educate the audience, they in a way communicate to the audience that they should be careful while they are dealing with their children, because many a times they understand that children, they are fooling them, children they are creating such kind of a scene, but children are the one who are the victim of non-understanding of the parents. So in this particular film, dyslexia was discussed, it was communicated, this kind of an idea came to the mind of the audience. Similarly, another film called Pa, which talks about the issue of progeria, where a young one or a child becomes quite old at a very young age. So there is a very quick speed at which the aging of a child is taking place. So this kind of an issue was another important thing which was not even known to the audience in India. Similarly, the issue of euthanasia was talked about in a film called Guzarish, where the idea of mercy killing was talked about. So films, they communicate various kinds of ideas, various kinds of things which are happening in the society, but with which one is not aware. So they play an important role in this context, and apart from that, films, they are also taught professionally. Some of the institutions like FTII, film institutes, degree, diploma and certificate courses, they are being conducted. Film appreciation courses, they are conducted at FTII and other places in Delhi and other places, and there are film departments in various universities. So we find that teaching cinema, where it is some sort of an academic discipline, where cinema is being used in terms of a teaching aid, it is providing you a lot of information that way, how it is to be taken seriously by the students, and how a systematic curriculum is being developed in terms of cinema, and various kind of institutions are taking lead in terms of educating students about cinema and its importance in our times. And we find that apart from the Film Institute, which was established in Pune in 1960s, specifically 1961, and the establishment of the Film Archives of India, and how P.K. Nair, who was the director of the National Film Archives, he played an important role in terms of gathering so much wealth which was related to the cinema. So this the kind of preservation techniques which were being followed at the film archives, and thereafter so many film prints which were not even which were to be destroyed, how they were being recovered, how they were being preserved and made available to the audience, the kind of literature which is being available there, that how literature was being retrieved from various scrap markets, from the personal collection, from the varied other kind of sources, and they are being placed there for the benefit of the people, those who are going to visit such kind of institutions. So when we tend to understand film and when we tend to understand society, we find that film, the message of the film is not only in the dialogues, because symbols, they also create some kind of a historical and a social context, because they are part and parcel of that particular time, and many a times they create an appropriate emotional response among the audience as well. So we find that how cinema and society, they are interlinked, how they are related to each other, and many a times it is being communicated that cinema is and films, they are the mirror of the society. So from that point of view, when we try to understand, we find that even in contemporary times, so many films which have been made in the recent context, which are communicating about a particular kind of a society, and how these kind of changes which can be made in the society at different levels, so that people, they also become aware about certain such kind of issues. And when we tend to understand the importance of cinema during the colonial period, we find that Indian cinema of those times, it was influenced by the ideals and objectives of the national movement. And when it was influenced by the ideals and objectives of the national movement, it was also influencing it in some way. And when we tend to understand the kind of films which were made during this period, we find that many of the films, they were reflecting the ideals and aspirations of the national movement. And the idea of social reform, which was associated with the social religious reform movement, it was seen in some of the films like Duniya Na Mane, which was made in 1937, Admi, which was made in response to Devdas in 1939. Then we have films like Padosi by V. Shantaram, which was talking about communal harmony in the society, when the forces of division in the framework of divide and rule of the British policy, they were evident. So we find that how cinema was making some kind of a plea to the audience to understand the ideals and the aspirations of the national movement. And many of the films which were made during the colonial period, how they were being censored by the censorship authorities. Any kind of reference which was there with regard to the national movement, that was being removed from the films. We find that any kind of reference to political leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, etc., that was also being removed from the films. Any kind of slogans which could reflect the ideals of the national movement, or which can perpetuate, which can propagate the ideas of the national movement, they were also being removed. And films, they were closely censored by the colonial machinery. And any kind of idea which was associated with independence, any kind of idea which was associated with national movement, these kind of idea, they were being removed from the films. When we tend to understand the impact of cinema, we find that cinema is a new kind of a audiovisual source of writing history. I am suggesting new in that sense that when we take into account the historical developments, we find that these developments, they have taken place in thousands and thousands of years. So cinema is comparatively recent because it has only a history of 125 years. So it is a very new audiovisual source by which we can write history. And how the nationalist aspirations and motives, they were also being portrayed in cinema. Apart from that, the promotion of culture, fashion and identity is also seen in cinema. So what we find that how culture is closely associated in the context of the films which we see, the films which are made in different languages in India, how these films, they promote the kind of culture which is there in society, and at the same time they are also reflecting the kind of culture which is there in the society. And many a times we find that films, they are also promoting a lot of fashion, and that how certain dresses, how certain cards, various kind of products, they become very popular because they are being used by certain film stars, and how these film stars, they are also being taken by the advertising industry. And these film stars and other sports persons, sometimes we find that they promote a particular kind of a product, and these the people, they also identify with that kind of a particular product because that has been promoted by a particular film star. So film in a way are trying to promote the kind of culture which is there. For example, we see that how on different occasions we have so many songs. When you try to compare it with the films which are made in Hollywood, we will find that they do not have films where songs are a necessity, but in the Indian context we find that 5 to 6 songs are a necessity in any kind of film which is being made. Especially in the Hindi cinema, we will find that how songs, they are shot on the exotic locales in different parts of the world, and how we find that at our different festivals we have songs for all those festivals. So we are able to relate with these kind of songs when we are watching that particular when we are watching the Indian films. And Indian films, I mean to suggest that films which are made in so many regional languages as well, apart from the Hindi films which are made, we have a rich tradition of filmmaking in South India, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada and Malayalam film industry. They are also producing a large number of films apart from the earlier centers, the Bangla films as well as the Marathi films. So cinema definitely is making a lot of impact on the society from that particular kind of a context, and Hindi films, they are being seen as cultural products that way, that how culture, which is the way of life. Similarly, cinema is also seen by so many people. So many film goers, they have their own opinions, how film stars, they have their own film clubs, fan clubs, and these fan clubs are there, they are promoting that particular stars, and many of the film stars, temples, they have also been made for these film stars in different parts of India. So we find that various kinds of films like mythological films which came in the initial times, where Raja Harishchandra, it was seen to be some sort of a parallel to the philosophy of Satyagraha, and how to endure suffering with faith, where you will find that the victory of the good over evil will take place. So such kind of things, they were being shown in cinema, especially when we are talking about Raja Harishchandra, and this kind of a courage, it was showing that some kind of a selfless sacrifice, it was needed to fight the British. So we find that the initial films, for example Raja Harishchandra, which was made in 1913, and the story of Harishchandra was made in several other languages as well, and this film was made and remade at a number of times during the colonial period as well, and this story was very popular. So we find that the mythological stories, they were known to the audience, and during that time, as late as 1931, till we have the first talkie in the framework of Alamara, which was made in 1931. Before that, we have the silent films, and silent films, they did not have dialogues, but it does not mean that there was everyone was sitting quiet in the cinema hall and they were watching the film, because below the screen there were certain musicians, those who were sitting, and they were trying to communicate the gist of the story through their music and their dialogues. But on the whole, we will find that as late as 1931, till the sound did not come, till the dialogues did not come to the cinema, the films, they were silent. So such kind of stories which were known to the audience, they provided some kind of a help to the filmmaker. But it does not mean that only mythological films they were being made. The films were made, there were other films which were made on socio-economic, political ideas as well. So we find during this period that a film called Sikandar, which was made in 1943, and the release of the film, it coincided with the Second World War, which was at its peak at that point of time, and the political atmosphere of India was very tense during this time, and Mahatma Gandhi gave a call for the Quit India movement at that point of time in 1942. And Sikandar, when it was released, it aroused the patriotic feelings and the national sentiment at that point of time, because when the story of Sikandar came, then Indian ruler, how he asked Sikandar that how he should be treated, then it was liked by the audience. And when the Indian ruler Porus, when he was talking to Sikandar, he held that he had that kind of dignity, and he wanted that he should be treated in a manner the way kings are treated. So such kind of films, they also aroused the masses, apart from the people, those who were fighting for the British in the form of the army. So army people, when this film was shown in the various cantonments, then people, they felt very happy about the kind of dialogues which were there in the film. Apart from that, we find that there was a film called Kismat, in which Ashok Kumar acted, and in that film we had this song Dur Hato Hai Duniya Walon Hindustan Hamara Hai. So that song became very popular, and audience was seeing this Dur Hato Hai Duniya Walon as equivalent to Quit India Call, which was given by Mahatma Gandhi at that point of time. And when this song was repeated time and again in the theatres, then the British government, it became suspicious that what has happened, and an officer was sent to the cinema hall to find out about the impact of this particular song. And the officer who was sent, he said that to the reference which was made, तुम ना किसी के आगे झुकना, German हो या Japani. So he writes that there is no reference to the British, and the reference is to the Germans as well as to the Japanese. So in a way, the censorship authorities of British, they were hoodwinked in that way. And how these kind of films they were able to create the kind of impact on the Indian audiences. And we find that film like Sikandar, it was banned in the military cantonment areas, and how some of the other films which were based on certain ideas which were propagated by Gandhi. Gandhi was talking about the issue of untouchability, women's emancipation, and the Hindu-Muslim unity, and how these ideas, they were central to Mahatma Gandhi's ideas. And Mahatma Gandhi had this kind of an aversion to cinema. He considered it to be a vice, and he refused to see films, and he only saw a film called Ram Rajya, which was made by Vijay Bhatt in 1943. And because of such kind of an antipathy of Gandhi to cinema, K. Abbas wrote an open letter to Gandhi, and where he asked Gandhi that why Gandhi has developed such kind of antipathy towards cinema. So cinema should be given some kind of liberal patronage by Gandhi, and if a leader like Gandhi will not like cinema or will be very critical of cinema, then this kind of an incipient medium will not be able to develop. So we find that how the national leaders, they had their own opinions about about cinema. For example, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he supported the Swadeshi films when they were made. For Raja Harishchandra was a completely Swadeshi film, and Dada Saheb Phalke, who is considered to be the father of the Indian cinema, and when he made this film, then Bal Gangadhar Tilak was in complete support of such kind of films which are to be made. And apart from that, some other leaders like Lala Lajpat Rai, he was also concerned when he was talking in the assembly about the film's censorship. Apart from that, other leaders like Nehru, he also had some kind of an idea where he felt that cinema definitely is going to create an impact on the audience. Some of the films like Duniya Na Mane, which was made, which was dealing with the issue of mismatched marriages in the society, and here the female protagonist exhibited the revolutionary reform spirit of a woman who realizes that emancipation of women, it lies in their own hands, and she makes efforts to overcome her problems. So we find that these kind of films, especially in 1930s, which one made Duniya Na Mane, which was talking about a mismatched marriage, and how women, they have to realize their own situation, they have to come out of that particular kind of a situation, they have to make their own efforts so that the kind of problems with which they are afflicted, the kind of problems which are there with regard to the issues of women, they are done away with. And we also find that some of the national leaders, they were also talking about the emancipation of women in the 19th century, and thereafter in the 20th century as well. They were talking about certain reforms and how women, they should be treated as equal to men, and the ideas about patriarchy, they should go away. And on the other hand, when we see some other issues which are related to the issue of censorship, etc., this we will discuss in the next segment. Thank you very much.